and welcome to another OceanCast tutorial. Now today I'm going to take one step back and look at a way that we can make our application more successful that we're hosting on DigitalOcean. Now you may be familiar with load balancing and what that is. So basically you want to split up the load across multiple servers so one server is not being bogged down with all your heavy traffic. Now there are multiple ways you can do this. One way is installing a load balancer using Nginx on your server. This can be kind of confusing for beginners. So today I'm going to go ahead and use DNS to load balance. Now this way is probably not the most recommended way, but it's fine if you're using it like a smaller application. So what we'll do, we'll create two A records. We'll hook them up to two DigitalOcean servers hosting our same application. What will happen then is, depending on where you're accessing it from, or where you're accessing the application from, you'll be able to go ahead and see the different application. Well, you'll see the same application, but at this tutorial I'm going to go ahead and give them different names or have a different line of text that shows so you can see like it is actually working. So I'm going to go ahead and make this. So the first thing you want to do is you want to create two droplets. You're going to want to name them whatever you want, like maybe application or application -1, application -2, or whatever you want to do. It's whatever. So you're going to want to put a host name and select whatever size you want. Select your regions. Now in this case I happen to have one in New York and I happen to have one in London, because now we'll see from different locations when we go ahead and take a look at that a little bit later on with the GeoPeeker. So now I'm going to go ahead and we're going to go down, and I went ahead on mine and went to applications, and then I selected the lamp. You can select whatever you want, and then press the create droplet button. So my two droplets are already fired up, and they're server 1 and server 2. So when you first create your droplet, you'll get information emailed to you, and you'll have to select you'll have to go ahead and change some stuff so we can see that the changes will be happening. So let's go ahead and do that right now. So first things first is we're gonna have to go ahead and look at this index.html file. So let me just go ahead and go over this with you. So we're gonna go cd into var www and then html, because this is where the default HTML files are located on a Ubuntu server. So then I'm gonna go ahead and do vi and then index.html. And you'll have a bunch of stuff in here. So what I went ahead and did on my other one is I just removed that index file and just made a new one. So you can see that. So you want to just go ahead and name this whatever. Happens to be server 2 and server 2. And this one here is server 1. So we know which one's which. Oops. Alright. So now let's actually access both of these IP addresses in our browser so we know in fact that it is working. So there's the first server and here's the second server. Alright, server 1, server 2. Bingo. Now here's the next part. We're gonna go ahead and play with the DNS now. So this is what will make it so it decides where it wants to go. So for example, this first one is codecast.co and the second one's codecast.co, but it depends on what server it's pointing to. So with DNS, you can't have two A records like this. This will work, which is pretty cool. So depending on where you're accessing this from, and we'll see this in a little bit when we test out and see if this is working with GeoPeeker. For example, the areas closer to London, we'll go ahead and show the London one, which is server 2. So yeah, so now I went ahead and created both of these and select put one of your IP addresses in here and put the other one there. So what I'm going to do now is go ahead and test this out. Now please note that this will take some time for these to happen, so probably give this about an hour before you go ahead and test this with GeoPeeker, because it does take some time for DNS to roll out all throughout the whole world, because you got to remember we got cables going everywhere and stuff gets hectic. You're kidding. But it does take some time. So now let's take a look at GeoPeeker. Sounds like something like Pokemon, I don't know. And so the first thing here is going to be Codecasts, or whatever your domain is. So let's go ahead and press go, and we're going to wait for some time. And now first, if you're just visiting the site, this will be toggled off. Toggle that on just so we can see our DNS records and see if they're being resolved. Alright, so what is really cool now is we can see these different areas throughout the world and what server they're connecting to. So we can see Singapore is connecting to my server 2. So if we look at this, or I mean, let's see. No, this sometimes will happen. This will show a different IP address than this. I've had that issue before. Sometimes they cache these images, so they don't update all the time. So sometimes it can be a little confusing, so we'll just go with the flow here. But anyways, you'll see from different locations that you're getting different results. Like this one here is server 2. This one here is server 2. And they're kind of like opposite the IP address, which is kind of weird. So server 2 and server 1. So we can see that depending on where we're at throughout the world, we're getting different results, which is good. So maybe you want to host your application in London so you can get the people in the Europe area. Be faster for them to connect to it than if they were in trying to connect to New York across the ocean. So you gotta remember that's gonna add some milliseconds to your response time. So you'll also like maybe you want to deploy one to let's say Frankfurt, and then you want to do one to Brazil. So it all depends what you want to do and how your application is strung out across the world. It just all depends what you do. And this, you're not limited to this amount of servers. You can have 100 of them if you wanted to. And that they'll also help you with downtime. Like there's the less chance you're going to be hitting that server that is going to be down. So that is it. I think that's it for today. Yep, that's it. So if you have any questions, please go ahead and leave a comment. Please like, rate, and comment, subscribe, all that happy stuff. If you've liked this video, helps me out and helps out the channel. So I would greatly appreciate that. More videos will be coming soon. So thank you all and have a great day.